Good morning, students. Now, in this class, I am going to discuss about analog and digital transmission with reference to computer networks. And previously, I discussed about what is computer networks, what are its categories, what is transmission media, and its different types, as well as network models, ISO reference model, and TCP/IP reference model. So in this class, this new topic, analog and digital transmission, is very important in case of computer networks. And so some basic terminology you should know before going to depth of the class. So first is data and signal. What do you mean by data? Data refers to an entity that expresses some meaning based on rules which are agreed upon by the sender and the receiver. So data can be available in various forms such as text, graphics, audio, and video. But signals refers to the representations of data in any of forms such as electrical, electronics, or optical that's suitable for transmission over a transmission medium. So analog, and the data may be either analog or digital. So analog data is defined as the data having continuous states. For example, our speech is an analog signal by analog data. Digital data is defined as the data having discrete sense. For example, data to be stored in memory of computer is in form of zeros and ones. So how we distinguish analog and digital signals? This is important. So data is transmitted across a transmission medium in the form of electromagnetic signal. So an electromagnetic signal can be either analog or digital. A signal that passes through and includes a wide range of varying values of intensity over a period of time is referred to as analog signal. And a signal that has only a finite range of values, generally 0 and 1s, is referred to as digital signal. So this is the basic terminology. Again, both analog and digital signals can be either periodic or non-periodic. A periodic signal exhibits a specific signal pattern that repeats over time. For example, sine waves, square waves are most common example of periodic analog and digital signals, respectively. On the other hand, a periodic signal does not repeat any specific signal pattern over time. For example, speech that we speak. So now, what is analog information and digital information? So analog information sends continuously that can take on many different values, and digital information is characterized by discrete states. For example, a digital clock represented the time in 1 minute interval does not sense its number again until the next minutes. So this is analog and digital transmission. So similarly, analog data, we have discussed digital data. So some other basic concept, basic terminology: baud rate and bit rate. In telecommunications network, data signaling rate is in aggregate rate at which data pass a point in the transmission path or a data transmission system is baud rate. And bit rate, sometimes this also bit rate is the frequency at which bits are passing a given point. It is quantified using bits per second. So again, one terminology is bandwidth. So bandwidth is usually measured in hertz. So of a frequency bandwidth f2 minus f1, that it can also be described as a signal, in which case the meaning is the width of the smallest frequency band within which signal can fit. So bandwidth, if we discuss about bandwidth, then it is also used to measure the performance of a computer network in one of the most important issues. So bandwidth is one of the main characteristics that measure the performance of a network. It can be used to different contexts. First is bandwidth in hertz, which refers to the range of frequencies in a composite signal, and second is bandwidth in bps, which refers to the number of bits that can be transmitted by a channel or a network in 1 second. So an increase in bandwidth is hertz implies the increase in bandwidth in bps. So if for a better network, the bandwidth also the bandwidth measures the better performance if bandwidth is high. So now the noise and attenuation other terms can be considered. Noise can be considered data without meaning, that is data that is not being used to transmit a signal but simply produced as unwanted by product or other activities. So attenuation is a measure of how much signal weakens as it travels through medium. So this is nothing but impairments of transmission media. So another important terminology is jitter. So jitter, it refers to a problem that occurs when intra-interval time between packets is not constant and application using data is in time sensitive. Now categories of noise: wave noise, thermal noise, Nyquist noise. So it's the noise generated by equilibrium fluctuation of electric current inside an electrical conductor, but happens without any applied voltage due to random thermal motions of source carries electrons. So these are some terminologies we have already discussed.